ಗೆಂದು ಮಟ್ಟಕ PSM Air ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರಬು ಮಫಹು ಬೋಟ್ ಕುರವ್ವ
Making headlines this hour. The government makes significant strides in its mission to cultivate a generation rooted in nationalism, responsibility, and holistic well-being. The Maldives presents its progress on safeguarding children's rights before the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child during a 2-day review session in Geneva. And civil court begins using integrated case management system. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz sends a message of condolence to Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul following a deadly railway accident in the Sikhio district of Nakhon Ratchasima province in Thailand. In a statement, President Muiz said he was deeply saddened by the incident, which killed dozens of people and left many others injured. He conveyed the sympathies of the Maldivian government and people to the Thailand authorities and to the families of those who lost their lives. The president also wished a speedy recovery to the injured and said he hoped search and rescue efforts would continue without disruption as authorities worked to respond to the tragedy. In a concerted effort to tackle bottlenecks in the nation's primary supply chain, President Dr. Mohamed Muiz holds separate meetings on the 15th of January with cargo vehicle drivers and clearance agents operating at the Male Commercial Harbor. The discussions held at the President's office centered on the critical challenges impeding the efficient movement of goods into the capital. The cargo drivers outlined a series of operational hurdles, including a critical lack of designated parking near the port, bureaucratic delays in transferring vehicle ownership, and difficulties in accessing spare parts from bonded warehouses. They also emphasized the need for formal government recognition of their vital role in the supply chain. Simultaneously, senior representatives from customs clearance service providers raised concerns regarding offloading procedures, operational hours, and the state of cargo handling equipment. A key point of discussion in both meetings was the government's push towards digitalization, particularly in expedited development of a goods clearance application designed to streamline processes. Further discussions covered the administration's policy on decommissioning old vehicles and fast-tracking the registration of new replacements. In response to the concerns raised, President Muiz assured both groups of the government's commitment to collaborating with all relevant authorities to develop effective, lasting solutions, underscoring the importance of a modern and efficient port for the nation's economic security. The government makes significant strides in its mission to cultivate a generation rooted in nationalism, responsibility, and holistic well-being. The National Service Program, initiated by President Dr. Mohamed Muiz, has seen encouraging public support, with 344 participants graduating from its first phase. Many graduates have now pursued further vocational training at the Military Training Center in Kihadu, Ba Atoll, a key step in equipping them with technical skills. The initiative, designed for youth completing initial national service training, involves 66 participants from 30 45 islands across 15 atolls. The 4-month program offers specialized instruction in leadership, nationalism, religious studies, and language proficiency, alongside physical fitness and character-building exercises. Graduates will earn a Level 3 certification, enhancing their readiness for roles in national security services. President Muiz emphasized the program's broader goal, nurturing self-reliant, spiritually grounded, and patriotic citizens while addressing societal challenges. By integrating education, discipline, and service, the government aims to strengthen national identity and civic responsibility among Maldivian youth. Training sessions held in Fushi also incorporate specialized sessions to foster resilience and positive behavior, an innovative approach to shaping well-rounded individuals. The government believes the initiative will curb negative social trends while reinforcing loyalty to the nation and its values. The Speaker of the Parliament, Abdul Rahim Abdullah, pays a courtesy call on the Speaker of India's Lok Sabha, Shri Om Birla, during an official visit to New Delhi. The meeting took place on the sidelines of the 28th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth, or CSPOC, where Speaker Abdurrahim commended India for what he described as exemplary arrangements. He noted that the meticulous planning and thoughtful execution of the conference reflected the Lok Sabha's enduring commitment to fostering parliamentary dialogue and cooperation across the Commonwealth. Discussions also centered on the deep-rooted friendship between the Maldives and India, with Speaker Abdurrahim highlighting the shared democratic values underpinning bilateral ties. He underscored the importance of further strengthening relations between the two parliaments, describing interparliamentary engagement as a vital pillar of the broader partnership between the two nations. The Maldivian speaker expressed particular appreciation for the training and capacity-building programs extended to staff to the People's Majlis Secretariat under an existing Memorandum of Understanding between the two legislatures. He acknowledged the tangible benefits of these initiatives and explored ways to further institutionalize parliamentary cooperation with a view to reinforcing an already robust and successful framework of collaboration. Speaker Om Birla, in response, emphasized the central role of parliamentary engagement in nurturing bilateral relations, affirming a shared commitment to deepening cooperation between the two democratic institutions. The meeting reaffirmed the close and evolving partnership between Male and New Delhi, rooted in mutual respect, sustained dialogue, and a common commitment to parliamentary democracy. The Maldives presents its progress on safeguarding children's rights before the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child during a 2-day review session in Geneva, marking a key moment of international scrutiny of the nation's social and legal commitments. The review, held from the 12th to the 13th of January 2026, examined the Maldives' combined 6th and 7th periodic reports under the Convention on the Rights of the Child, to which Maldives has been a party since February 1991. The reports outlines measures taken between 2016 and 2021 to align national laws, policies, and institutions with the Convention's obligations. Appearing before the committee, the Maldivian delegation responded to a wide range of questions from experts addressing legislative reforms, child protection mechanisms, and efforts to strengthen education and social welfare systems in the years since the last review. Leading the delegation, Attorney General Ahmad Osham underscored the government's position that children remain central to the nation's future. In his statement, he described the convention as a guiding framework for Maldivian governance, reaffirming a commitment to ensure that every child grows up in dignity, safety, and with a meaningful voice in society. The delegation included Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, alongside senior officials from the Attorney General's Office, the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Social and Family Development, and Education, as well as representatives from the Maldives Permanent Mission to the United Nations in Geneva. The UN Committee is expected to issue its concluding observations and recommendations recommendations in the coming weeks, setting out areas of progress and concern, and offering guidance for the Maldives' next phase of reforms in advancing the rights and well-being of children. The Election Commission of Maldives, or ECM, announces that nominations for the upcoming Local Council and Women's Development Committee elections will open on Saturday, on the 17th of January, and remain open until the 1st of February. This marks the first time candidate forms will be accepted digitally through an online portal. During a press conference, ECM Chairperson Mohammad Zahid confirmed that the elections will be held on the 4th of April 2026, with polling stations operational from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. A total of 1,356 members, 678 for local councils and 678 for women's development committees, will be elected. ECM stated that 294,937 eligible voters, 144,527 women, and 150,410 men will participate. Voting will take place across 321 polling stations across the country, with stations set up on industrial islands, prisons, and resorts alongside all inhabited islands. Overseas voting will be facilitated via ballot boxes in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Colombo, Sri Lanka. According to constituency guidelines, 626 councillors will be elected for island councils and 52 for city councils, with varying representation based on population. The women's development committees will mirror the elected council structures. Zahid emphasized that all administrative preparations are underway to ensure a smooth and transparent election process. The Elections Commission of Maldives, or ECM, opens registrations for persons with visual impairment to vote without assistance for the upcoming local council elections and Women's Development Committee, or WDC, elections scheduled to take place in April 2026. The registration deadline is February 23rd, Monday. ECM said that for those individuals that opt to vote with the use of a tactile ballot paper template, registration is open till February 23rd on 10 p.m. To register, an individual can call the designated hotline 1414. It said registrations are open every day except for Fridays from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. and on Fridays from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. This special tactile ballot paper template was first designed for persons with visual impairment to exercise their right to vote without assistance in 2023. This arrangement was first implemented for the 2023 presidential elections. Previously, the ECM had also conducted training programs across the nation on the use of templates in polling stations. The ECM stressed that use of a template is a progressive step towards ensuring the secrecy of an individual's vote. It said this move can also ensure the full right to vote is exercised in an independent manner. Chief Judicial Administrator Al-Ustaz Amjad Mustafa reveals integrated systems will be installed in all courts across the Maldives before July this year. The Chief Judicial Administrator made the remarks while speaking at the launch of the integrated system at the Civil Court. Addressing the ceremony, Al-Ustaz Amjad Mustafa said extensive efforts are underway to introduce integrated systems within the judiciary. He noted that a similar system was installed at the Criminal Court last year and that a comparable system will be introduced at the Family Court next month. He said that before July this year, integrated systems will be implemented in all courts in the Maldives. As part of broader efforts to modernize the judiciary, the Chief Judicial Administrator said significant work will also be carried out this year to establish information technology infrastructure, including the installation of servers. He said that the Department of Judicial Administration will give high priority this year to strengthening IT infrastructure, noting that existing IT facilities in courts across the country are inadequate. Al-Ustaz Amjad Mustafa said digital innovation within the judiciary is essential as it will accelerate services provided to the public and enable courts to deliver services in a more effective and desirable manner. He added that the system will bring significant convenience to both the courts and the public. Meanwhile, the civil court said the new system is expected to provide major improvements to the conduct of hearings. The court said the integrated case management system will make its services and operations faster and more efficient. Civil court begins using integrated case management system. The system was inaugurated by the President of the Judicial Service Commission, or JSC, Al-Ustaz Hosni Mubarak. Speaking at the launch ceremony, Civil Court Chief Judge Al-Ustaz Mariam Wahida said the civil court is among the courts that preside the highest number of cases. She noted that due to the absence of a modern system, all administrative work at the court had previously been handled manually. She stated that with the number of cases expected to increase in the future, managing cases manually would pose a significant challenge. She emphasized that the introduction of an integrated system is therefore an important step towards accelerating and strengthening court operations. She explained that the single system will speed up case processing and automate all manual tasks. She added that the digitization of all case-related documents will make information more accessible and help facilitate justice. The civil court is the second court to introduce the integrated case management system. The system was first implemented at the criminal court in August last year and has been in use there for 5 months. Speaking about the system's impact, Criminal Court Chief Judge Al-Ustaz Adam Muhammad highlighted the importance of establishing such a system and the benefits it has brought to court operations. He said the system has become a secure software platform that views and stores all information in one place, making it easier to maintain case documents and organize trials. With the introduction of the new system, significant simplifications are expected in hearing requirements. The civil court said the integrated case management system will make court services and operations faster and more efficient. The Judicial Service Commission reaffirms its commitment to recognizing and defending the work of judges while acknowledging the challenges faced in maintaining public confidence in the judiciary. Speaking at the launch of the integrated case management system at the Civil Court, JSC Chairperson Hosni Mubarak said judges and judicial staff are restricted from publicly speaking about their work. He noted that prolonged delays and case backlogs have contributed to declining public trust in the judicial system. He stressed that the JSC must stand in defense of judges and recognize their efforts, adding that the Commission is not only an investigative body but also one that supports judicial integrity. The newly introduced integrated case management system marks a significant milestone in the modernization of the Maldivian judiciary. The system aims to streamline court administration and accelerate the resolution of cases. Hosni Mubarak described the civil court as one of the busiest courts in the country and highlighted the need for systemic improvements to restore public confidence. While acknowledging progress in resolving cases, he said unresolved long-standing disputes continue to raise public concern. He said the new system is expected to improve efficiency and ensure faster and more accessible court services. Meanwhile, civil court officials expressed confidence that the digital system will significantly improve judicial operations and make court hearings more efficient. They said the initiative reflects broader efforts within the judiciary to balance accountability with recognition of the vital role judges play in upholding justice. National Social Protection Agency, or NSPA, reveals more than 14,000 people with disabilities, or PWDs, received financial assistance in December. Data from NSPA shows that a total of $3.4 million was dispersed to 14,816 people with disabilities during the month. As of December, 15,059 people were registered with the agency. Of those registered, 8,736 were male and 6,323 were female. An allowance has been paid to people with disabilities since 2011. In 2023, the allowance was increased to $194. SME Digital opens applications for financing under the Maldives Islamic Social Financing Initiative, or MISFI, marking the first financing scheme introduced by the Bank of Maldives, or BML, under the initiative. SME Digital said the scheme provides Islamic microfinancing of up to $6,490. The financing is offered at an annual rate of 2.5%, described as the lowest available rate. A repayment period of up to 10 years is provided to ensure business sustainability, including a grace period of up to 12 months. No applications or processing fees are charged under the scheme. The company said Islamic microfinancing is an open financing mechanism aimed at individuals who face difficulties in accessing financial assistance through the conventional banking system, as well as new entrepreneurs. SME Digital said the initiative is intended to strengthen the relationship between the public and the financial sector and to remove barriers to accessing financial services. Speaking on the scheme, SME Digital Chief Executive Officer Badruddin Hassan said Islamic social financing enables the creation of a more inclusive financial system by extending opportunities to individuals who do not qualify for traditional bank financing. Applications for the financing scheme are now open through the SME portal on SME Digital's website. MISFI is a dedicated fund established by the Maldives Monetary Authority, the Bank of Maldives, and the Maldives Islamic Bank, or MIB. Under the initiative, BML and MIB have pledged commitments of approximately $12.97 million and $1.95 million respectively over the next 3 years. The Maldives Monetary Authority has also committed approximately $1.30 million during the same period. Together, these commitments bring the total pledged funding for MISFI programs to approximately $16,022 million. The Ministry of Social and Family Development has provided assistance in identifying priority social areas for funding this year. MISFI was inspired by internationally recognized models such as Bank Islam Malaysia's Sadaqah House, which utilizes a range of Islamic social finance instruments, including Sadaqah, Waqf, and Islamic crowdfunding, to channel resources towards socially impactful and development-oriented projects. Insights into business. Commerce Ministry spokesperson He Yong-chiang says China is willing to work with countries that are keen on negotiating bilateral and regional trade and investment agreements when asked at a regular news conference whether or not China was still pursuing a free trade pact with Canada. Separately, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney on Thursday hailed the leadership of President Xi Jinping and the speed of progress in bilateral ties, declaring that the stage was set for both nations to become strategic partners across many fields. Carney's optimistic remarks made during his 4-day visit to China followed months of intense re-engagement by both countries aimed at recalibrating ties that had soured under the previous Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Re-engagement with China has also been fueled by a push to diversify export markets after U.S. President Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canada last year and suggested the longtime U.S. ally could become the country's 51st state. In his meeting with Chinese Premier Li Qiang on Thursday, Carney said his visit had marked the start of a new partnership with China. Taking a look at world affairs, President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff announces the launch of Phase 2 of the plan to end the conflict in Gaza with the establishment of a technocratic Palestinian administration in the enclave. The United States said it is launching the second phase of its plan to end the Gaza war, even as key elements of the first phase, including a complete ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, remain unfulfilled. The first phase has been shaken by issues including Israeli airstrikes that have killed hundreds in Gaza, the failure to retrieve the remains of one last Israeli hostage, and Israeli delays in reopening Gaza's border crossing with Egypt. By pressing on with Phase 2, the United States and its mediator partners will need to tackle the even more vexing challenges of disarming Palestinian group Hamas, which has refused to give up its arms, and deploying an international peacekeeping force. Announcing the second phase in a social media post, President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff said it establishes a transitional technocratic Palestinian administration in Gaza and would begin the process of disarmament and reconstruction. The Palestinian body will have 15 members and will be led by Ali Shaath, a former deputy minister in the Western-backed Palestinian Authority, who had been in charge of developing industrial zones, according to a joint statement by mediators Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. We now take a look at sports. Sadio Mane thrashed home a dramatic winner 12 minutes from full time to send Senegal into the Africa Cup of Nations final after they edged Egypt 1-0 in a tense last-four encounter. It was as much as Senegal deserved after they dominated the match, with Egypt spearheaded by talisman Mohamed Salah not having any shots at goal or even forcing a corner before they conceded. Senegal found it tough, however, to break down a resolute Egypt defense, and it was only a fortuitous deflection that set up Mane's chance. Yet his shot from the edge of the area was worthy of winning any match and sent Senegal through to take on hosts Morocco in Sunday's final. Concluding with more lighter news, an app called Are You Dead targeted at people living alone has gone viral in China, with surging downloads and widespread commentary on social media, prompting the company to introduce a subscription fee and change its name to Demumu for a global audience. The app, called Sileme in Chinese, which translates to Are You Dead in English, is a lightweight safety tool created for solo dwellers, from students to solo office workers or anyone choosing a solitary lifestyle, says its development team. The app requires setting up one emergency contact and sends automatic notifications if the user has not checked in via the app for consecutive days. China may have up to 200 million one-person households, with a solo living rate exceeding 30%, state newspaper The Global Times said. Sileme said on its official Weibo on Tuesday, January 13th, that the company will launch the global brand name Demumu in its new version to be released soon. It is already called Demumu on Apple's paid app chart, where it is currently sitting at number 2 after surging to the top earlier in the week. And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.
Member fan muskuli ve gaba dera duga mihunge kankamal men ala nudum.
Ede mihunnattaka ogaveri kamuge fiyagandu tirikollashe.
mu'minakkamuga wanya alu firihanaku smarangale Allah shirku kura mihekavore.
awun menna ki sarangala tarbiyat fati beka ma ki darinna ambinna ailage men rangala tarbiyat kuru
algomenna melifa mani ki hawarge niyamati algomenna eba ihsas korwe
niyume hegatuga beenukudu awma zimmai
Yebame